Welcome! This is a 3-part series of exploring the Mount Pisgah area of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Follow along every Wednesday night to see what happens next in this unpredictable adventure.
Oh, of course it's cloudy, you're not going to be able to see anything. That's where we're going from here. Did not see the sunrise. Too cloudy. I'm trying this for breakfast. As you can see, I've already taken a bite. It's actually really good. It is I don't even know that it has a proper name. I saw the recipe online. It's super simple. I did this before I left home and then threw them in the cooler. Take a tortilla, lay it out, smother it with peanut butter, and then slice a banana and put it like down the center, and then roll it up like a little burrito sort of thing, and package it up. Throw it in your cooler. And it's a good, healthy breakfast. It's like fresh food instead of like all the dehydrated stuff that you find. And it's something you don't have to cook once you get here. So now I'm just taking a moment to enjoy my hot tea before we embark on our hike that we were supposed to do from the sunrise spot. So we're going to start basically the same area. We're going to go ahead and do the same trail and everything. And we're going to actually come back a different trail. So that'll be nice. But yeah, obviously sunrise was a fail. Came back and actually kind of worked out well because then it was a lot easier to cook here at camp. Plus we realized we forgot stuff, like Desiree forgot her spoon, which would have been really difficult to eat her rice pudding that she had for breakfast without a spoon. We made it across the street to start our hike. Desiree's already stopping to finish getting ready for the hike. She had to put her hat on and I think we're about to finally get going on this hike. So.
I know, she's taking forever.
Yeah, since when do you talk about yourself in the third person? Alright, so here's the trailhead. Oh, it's part of the Mountain Seas Trail.
Oh.
This is a really cool board because it's like carved out. Campground. So our campsite, hold on, I need 2 hands. So we came in Blue Ridge Parkway from over here. And then we come into the campground and our campsite is right here. So we can walk through the back of our campsite, come over here and get on the trail to come over across the parkway again and come up to here where we're at right now. And so we are going to take this trail all the way over to Buck Spring Gap Overlook. And then from there, we're going to follow across the street again. We'll be at the Mount Pisgah parking area, and then we will go all the way up to the summit of Mount Pisgah. And then when we come back, we're going to go this way back to our campground. This is a picnic area. This is where we're going to eat lunch. And then we're going to come back all the way back to home base. So that's our hiking trip today. It's actually most of the trails, other than the ones that like go that direction. These little flies, they're all over the place this morning, and they look like mosquitoes carrying egg sacs or something. I don't know what they are. They're not mosquitoes, but they look like they're just carrying like egg sacs around. It's strange. And they're everywhere. Well, it's all uphill already. Look, we've already gone 2 miles. Just kidding. We literally just started. Whew. This is tiresome already. All uphill. Hey, some downhill. Whew, I'm out of breath. Oh, now back uphill. Short-lived. Figured it would be. So we found it. It was sitting on my jacket. Oh, we're moving too much. But I guess, I don't know if it's an egg sac or what. It almost looks wet. Like it's like little water crystals on it. It was sitting on my jacket arm. Oh, thanks. You gave it back to me. It's so weird. It's like the strangest little thing. So I don't know if those are like egg sacs that they're just dropping off places they think are good. They thought my jacket was a good place to put their eggs. I don't know. It looks hollow. It doesn't look like there's anything in there, but
No.
it could be just early on in the stage or something. I don't know. We'll have to look that up and see what that is, because it's really weird seeing them fly around too.
I don't know.
Because they're definitely like, they're holding them with their back legs while they fly. Cannot get it on video. They're all blurry. And they just like hover in the path, which is annoying. But yeah, we came from that way. There's like a little path over here to that little overlook. Worth a little stop. So we will continue on now on our journey to Buck Springs Gap Overlook. So that goes up to Little Bald Summit. What I read was that there's not really an overlook there, unless maybe in the fall, winter, you know, when there's not as many leaves on the trees. So we're not going to do that today. Not going to do any extra uphill that we don't need to do. Doesn't tell us how much further to the overlook, but we got to be getting close. We came from that way. There's a sign for Laurel Mountain that way. I didn't see that on the map before. We're going to keep on continuing this way. Oh, here it tells you. Laurel Mountain Trail. Okay, 2 miles to the summit. That means we still have half a mile to go. Because the summit trail is 1.5 from the trailhead. Technically, I think we have a little less because of the walk across the parking lot and the parkway. This part of the trail is so cool. We're so bad this trip. We've only gone 0.88 of a mile. We haven't even gone a full mile yet. And we're already like, I'm hungry. Let's eat the snacks. We're sitting here eating our snacks. Well, we just ate them. So now we're getting ready to start hiking again. We're doing like the shortest hikes. And we're like acting like we've never hiked a day in our life. Because we're like, oh, this is so hard. We're like 1/10 of a mile in. Like, it's crazy. But it has been a while since I've hiked. And it's been a while since Desiree has hiked, but she's been backpacking. Last time she hiked like 25 miles, so. Alright, so at the 1 mile marker, because my watch is going off, there's a bench. We should have waited and had a snack here. 2/10 of a mile more and we can have our snack here with a view. So from the bench, there's this, like old ruins of like a foundation with stairs. And up here at the overlook somewhere, because I think we're really close to the overlook now, are the remains of the Biltmore vacation home. So if you've ever been to the Biltmore, or you've heard about it in Asheville, they actually had a vacation home right here, right along the parkway. So if you thought their mansion wasn't enough of like a vacation home, they had another vacation home up on the mountain. So it was like their mountain vacation home. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. I read about that like right before I came up here. Well, the sun's coming out now. So from there, I believe this is the actual overlook that we're trying to get to. So it really is only a mile away. A much clearer overlook, but I did like that other one, the way the trees were around it. I could be wrong, but I believe that's Little Bald, the one that we could have hiked to the top of. But that ain't worth the trouble. because there's no like overlook or anything. This is nice because nobody's out here today. So this was like part of the property, like I was saying. Oh, you can still see some of like the foundation over there for like probably the steps up to it or something. But this was what I was talking about. Buck Spring Lodge. Built for George Vanderbilt. So the spring house is what we saw. That's the only remaining part of it. It's just crazy. But that's all that survived. I guess because of the building of the Blue Ridge Parkway. I guess that's why they destroyed it. It's interesting. They kept sheep here to mow the grass, basically. That's really cool. Alright, so we are now officially at the Buck Springs Gap overlook. Yay! So but here's the overlook here. There's the overlook. And there's where we're going. Up there. To the peak of Mount Pisgah. Yikes. Basically, we take the little road back to the parkway, cross the street, and then the trailhead should be over there. So that's what we're doing now. Well, this is a long hike down this road from the parking lot. We could have taken the Mountain to Sea Trail further, but it's like up there. There have been more ups and downs, and we're so lazy this trip. We're like, this is fine. So that's where we would have came out at if we had continued the trail. There's another like little overlook spot. And then the trail continues over here. But we're not going to take that because the road should be right there. But this is a shut-in trail. Also part of the Mountains to Sea Trail. Oh, the view though. Yeah, Mount Pisgah tells you, do not take the trail. Mount Pisgah is that way. As you can see it, where we're going. Okay, so this is actually, I thought we had to cross the parkway again, but we don't. This is actually the trailhead. I think there's another trailhead on the other side of the parkway though, so I think we will cross the parkway here. But you can park over here and hike it as well. So good to know. I'm sure signs on the parkway say that, but we obviously didn't come to the parkway, so we didn't know. So here's the parking lot, and then when we come back, this is the trail we'll take back to the campground. Looks a little iffy though, but hopefully it's not too rough. But only 1.4 miles to the campground. We'll have to hike a little bit further than that though to get to our campsite. So it's probably going to be closer to 2 miles total, but it's not too bad. I say that now. Ask me later after we get done with hiking up to the summit of Mount Pisgah. This might feel like death. I'm pretty sure there is a Pisgah tunnel, kind of forgot. And I think the parkway just goes under the trail. So we're not actually going to cross the parkway. Or we've already crossed it already. Because I can hear the traffic down there, like behind us. Quite a ways down. So we, right at the trailhead, passed the lady that was coming down. So I asked how bad it was. And she said, it's not too bad. She's like, just take lots of breaks. She said, the rough spots when you see the stone steps. She said it's pretty much all straight uphill from there. So, like right now, this is not bad at all. This is very easy, very gradual, almost flat. So, it means there's going to be a lot of steep uphill.
She said when we think it never ends, it ends.
It's getting a little bit steeper now, but I don't think we're to the steep spots yet. Okay, so yeah, those steps were the beginning of all this. If this is as steep as it gets, this is not too bad because it's all steps, but it is still all uphill and we're already out of breath. So just came through there. You can kind of sneak a peek through the trees back there. It's leveled out a little bit. That means the worst is yet to come. Okay, so it's definitely getting steeper now. We are...
I think we're on the last stretch.
No, we've only gone 0.6 miles. We've only got a tenth of a mile since our half mile.
Nuh-uh.
We still have a long ways to go. We still have a little less than a mile. We still have 0.9 of a mile to go. Should we count it down by the tens?
No.
And just keep trekking. This uphill's killing us. We're stopping like every tenth of a mile now. Like, how much further did we make it? And it's only a tenth of a mile further. So discouraging. Yeah, this hike is not for the faint of heart. It's long and uphill. It could take you all day, like if you just take your time, if you're not so keen on uphill hikes. You could take your time, make this take all day, and it wouldn't be that bad. Other than it taking all day. Ready for a break. I'm ready to be there. We're only 0.7 miles in. We haven't even gone a mile yet. So bad. So we are now 0.8 miles in. It's like all steep uphill. I think these are the stone steps that she was talking about. If so, we got a long ways to go because basically half the trail is this then. Okay. Yeah, those are definitely the start of the stone steps because it's been like this for the last like fifth of a mile. Not quite a tenth. It's been all uphill stone steps. I'm dying. You can kind of see a view though. So that's nice.
Steps are harder than incline. Well, I think it just depends.
I think they're actually easier. But
Yeah.
they're harder on my knees, that's for sure. There's the inn. There's the Pisgah Inn where we hiked from first thing this morning. And now we're up here. This is insane. So we are almost there. We're already passing people that were passing us going up. They're already on their way back. But this is killer. You can see my face is so red. But the breeze feels nice. It's overcast, so it's not too hot. Of course, it's not that hot up here anyways, but you still break a sweat doing this because uphill all the whole way. So the whole way down is downhill. But we're almost there. My watch stopped tracking mileage properly, so when we were going like a tenth of a mile, we were probably going more than a tenth of a mile each time. Just by a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, it says we've only got a mile and we're almost there and it's a mile and a half, so that's not accurate. Because I looked down, realized it stopped tracking because I'd hiked some and it still said 0.99. Definitely a strenuous one, but well worth it from what everybody said so far that's come down. We are basically there. Basically, not officially because we still got more climbing to do. There's an observation deck, so that's cool. That whole tower is shaking. Did not take long for the rain to blow in. We're gonna have to hike back in the rain, per usual for us, but it's not too bad. No thunder yet, so that's good. So the views aren't the best. Honestly, the views wouldn't be the greatest up here anyways, just because of a lot of the trees in some spots, so it's not like a full 360 view, but this is still worth it and really cool since it's next to the cell tower. So you can spot the cell tower from the highway, really know where you're at and where, you know, Mount Pisgah is. Yeah, our plan was to eat lunch up here, but then it started raining, like basically right after we got here, so that's fun. All that hard work getting up here, and now we don't get to really enjoy it, but we have to enjoy some of it. It could be worse. It could be completely clouded over and you couldn't see anything, so there is that plus side. But I'm having to borrow Desiree's jacket because she's, for some weird reason, packed 2 rain jackets in her backpack. And I just packed a poncho. And I didn't feel like dealing with the poncho. I do have a rain jacket, but it's back at the campsite, and it's not the best. I don't have a good rain jacket. I need to get one. I'm probably going to get one like this because I actually really like this one. So, now we're on our way back down. I am hungry, though. Maybe we'll eat lunch on the way down instead of making it all the way to like the picnic table area, because it's going to rain harder probably later anyways. We literally just left the summit and Desiree fell. I was talking to a couple that was on their way up, and then I heard a thud and I look over and Desiree's face planted, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, are you okay? And she like rolls over. She's like, I'm okay, but she landed on her knees, so she's taking a minute because, yeah, she's a little scuffed up, but not bad. We got a long hike back. The rain just kind of comes and goes, but it's light rain, so it's not too bad. We're eating well, Desiree's eating her full lunch. I'm just eating snacks because even though I'm hungry, I just want to get back to camp at this point. And it'd be too much work to take like the rain cover off my backpack, take my backpack off, dig underneath my camera and my jacket to get my full-blown lunch. So, plus it's a lot of pieces and stuff, and it's just not worth the trouble. Because I thought we were going to eat at the picnic area, but that's not happening now. Okay. We made it back to the trailhead. Now to make it back to the campground. We got 1.4 miles to go. Half a mile to the picnic area. We're kind of hoping there's restrooms at the picnic area. No idea if there are or not. Probably not. Because we both really gotta go. But we'll see. And we haven't done this trail, so hopefully it's not too difficult. So far it's all downhill. Literally just started this thing. But I can see ahead, it's so far all downhill. Hopefully there's not too much uphill. Okay, this trail's like super steep downhill. Glad we did not come up this way. So if you are hiking to Mount Pisgah from the campground, definitely recommend the way that we did go, because it's actually a lot easier, even though there's some like ups and downs on that trail too. It mostly stayed up. This goes way down, which means it probably goes up too. It's gonna suck. But this one's a lot more dramatic, I feel like. I wouldn't recommend going to Mount Pisgah from the campground this way. I would recommend crossing the street and going from the inn. But that's my take in this moment. Got a little bridge, which I'm glad it's there because I wouldn't want to have to jump across that thing. Whew, the picnic area. Yay. Whew. If you drive to hike Mount Pisgah, that's where you turn in. And we're in this picnic area over here. As you can see, it's raining. And that last bit was all uphill. I'm dying. No bathrooms over here, go figure. Time to keep going. Oh. So that's to the picnic area. So you actually have to hike out to your picnic area. That says campground trail right this way. So we still have to hike to the end of this parking lot. Yeah, it's kind of weird. We're at the end of the parking lot now and we don't see a trail because it pointed this direction and there weren't any trails before it. So before that sign, I mean after that sign. Yeah, this is back to the campground. So there you go. A little hidden trail. So I've said it before, I will say it again, now I can show you living proof These trees, anything like in the evergreen family, are the perfect nature's umbrella. Because look, the trail's perfectly dry here. And then it's soaking wet. Like, there's like literal mud puddles over there. And then we walked into this and it's perfectly dry. Like, not a drop of rain in here. And then you come over here and it's all wet again. Because we're outside of nature's umbrella. We stepped out from underneath nature's umbrella. So crazy. So there's a parking lot is up that way. We passed people that said they just came from a parking lot. So we go like we're going to Frying Pan Tower because it connects to the campground trails. Yay! We are back. So there's the stairs to the left that take you up to the inn and the store. So our campsite is right around the corner. We don't have much further to go. And then we can go to the bathroom finally. Oh, this is so genius. Look at this. The tarp's doing exactly as it should, draining the water all the way down on the low end. And our table's dry. Oh, it makes me so happy. It's funny, we get here and now everybody's gone. Feels like we're the only ones in the campground. Because this place was packed. So, show up on Saturday and plan to leave on Tuesday. Instead of everybody else that shows up on Friday and then leaves Sunday. Because then you're just with the crowds. So, if you want to avoid the crowds, do the back half of the weekend. Take off the beginning part of the next week. Instead of taking off like the Thursday, Friday, or whatever. There's literally nobody here. Not that I have a problem with people. It's just like, there's not enough stalls in the bathroom. Lunchtime, finally. Back at the campsite. With our handy dandy tarp set up over the picnic table. Let's dry. Because we're geniuses. Alright. Time to finally try the dill pork rinds from Buc-ee's. From the video, like 1 or 2 weeks ago now. I still haven't tried them, so we're trying them now on this camping trip. My first time ever trying pork rinds. Probably don't recommend pairing with this coconut water. Very coconutty. Probably not good with dill. But, ooh, smell really dill. Okay. Why have I never had pork rinds before? Like, this is literally crunchy bacon. Why has nobody told me this? It literally tastes like bacon. I had no idea. These are basically bacon flavored chips. In case anybody hadn't had pork rinds before. Bacon flavored chips. I don't know why I've never had the chance to try these in my life. Well, I could have tried them. But I never bought them for myself until now. Honestly, I'm not tasting much dill. I'm kind of disappointed in that part. It definitely smells dill, but it doesn't taste dill. Definitely recommend pork rinds. Don't know how I feel about the dill ones from Buc-ee's, because they just kind of taste like regular pork rinds to me, I'm assuming. But they were really good. Lunchtime complete. Coffee time. So, my tent is not waterproof, which I kind of already knew that, but I thought it was okay. Because it's rained before once with that tent. Yeah, it's only been once that I've camped with that in the rain. And it's been okay. The only place where it leaked was where my head was pushing on the rain fly. So I thought that was the issue. It's like wherever the rain fly touches the tent's usually the issue. But now it seems to be leaking just no matter what. Like, I don't think the water's really running off of the rain fly like it's supposed to. So there's a lot of water in my tent. Not like a ton. It's not terrible. But like my clothing bag's wet now. Got wet clothes. And like my blanket, thankfully I put my camping blanket like over top of everything so it can just kind of hold the water. So when I sleep tonight, it's not supposed to rain tonight, but if it does, I'll just use the mummy part of my sleeping bag to cover up to keep myself from getting wet, because I've done that before. That's what happened last time I had to sleep in the rain. I wish I could have my new tent, but the tent pad's not big enough for me to have my new tent at this campsite. Because if I did, it would literally be just my tent, and there would be no room for Desiree's tent. And we're not sharing a tent, because she needs her space and I need my space. It is now foggy, now that the rain's left. We're gonna see if the general store's open. Hopefully I can buy myself a tarp. unintentionally made a spider's home right here on the rope. Whoopsies. So, chipmunk! We're running over a chipmunk. We're not running over a chipmunk, it's okay. Anyways, yeah, so turn right. We are headed to Walmart. We weren't supposed to get in the car at all today. That was a fail because my rainfly failed, so the store did not have a tarp. But there's a Walmart. There's a small Walmart in Brevard is what he said. I'm guessing he means it's probably like a marketplace Walmart or whatever, the neighborhood market. And I don't think that they'll have a tarp. But there's a bigger Walmart in Hendersonville, and he said it's only like a 25-minute drive, which shocks me because Hendersonville on the map is like further than Asheville. But I'd probably rather go to Hendersonville than Asheville anyways, so that's where we're headed. You know you're in Walmart when? That date's wrong. That's supposed to be a 36. They started construction in 35 and ended in 36. I don't know where they got the 33 from. Also, there's nobody driving this thing around the store. Explain this to me. What is this?
Are we there yet?
We are heading back to the campground now. I recommend as far as like food and stuff goes, but just like know that it's really a bar. Like you are actually going to a bar. Putting my tarp over my tent so that it doesn't rain in it tomorrow. And then probably going to bed, kind of have a slow night. We're really tired. We've been up basically since sunrise, so that's gonna be pretty much it for this day. And I will see y'all in the morning.
I'll see y'all next week. Be sure to watch next week's video because it's gonna cover all the waterfalls that we saw on this trip. You won't want to miss it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week.